I'm here with Peavy to talk about Rage and their upcoming new record, A New World Rising, out September 26th on Steamhammer SPV. Always a pleasure to see you, always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm sure you're excited and counting the days for this album to come out.
Yes, hello Pedro. Also nice to see you and talk to you. Yes, we are excited for coming out of the new album. Great.
So let me ask you this. After the career and the discography that the band has had, the places where you guys have played. I saw you guys in Toronto. That was the last time I saw you guys play a live show was in Toronto when you guys did that kind of the East Coast tour. You guys have played at the biggest festivals in the world. You played in every single continent. What keeps you motivated?
The music, metal music, the metal community is basically that's my home base, that's my tribe, that's where I feel familiar. That what I was raised in. This community gave me the opportunity to spend my whole life doing my favorite thing, playing this kind of music, creating this kind of music. I never had to work in a different job, so I was always able to do my life doing this. So I'm very grateful for this, and this keeps me motivated, of course, to continue this. And as long as possible, I hope I can still do it for the future.
I was not surprised, but impressed with how good the album is, considering how many records you guys have released. You would think that by now you may be taking some shortcuts, milling it in, like people like to say. But you're not. You're. It sounds to me that you're as hungry now as you were. I don't know, 3 decades ago. So when you look at coming into a new record. Do you think about what you want that album to deliver? What do you want that album to have that becomes unique to that specific record? Or is the overall process a little bit more organic?
Actually, when we create music, especially between me and Gene, our guitar player now since 5 years in the band, and especially when we work together, we're like little kids, um, playing around with the riffs, playing around with the harmonies, the melodies. This is like kids playing in the Sanchez. And yeah, this is basically the best thing I could describe it. We are excited as first day. When we ever did this. It's just so great what you can do with notes, what you can do with rhythms, what you can do with music in general. Such a great thing, and it's so a big relief for the soul. To get all this out. And so we didn't really think about doing a new album. Actually, this happened by the way. We were surprised this year spring that we already had 15 new tracks. That was not really planned. We basically we thought after having the double album last year, we thought, okay, we can leave time. No need to hurry. We can bring a new album maybe in 26 or so. And then we were really like blown away, like, wow, we already had that much material. We didn't even realize this. At this point. So like I, like I just said, we're like kids. Playing with music. It has the same fascination like it had 50 years ago to me.
When you guys are playing in that sandbox that you mentioned with those riffs, how important has his role been? Because I thought this album, from a guitar standpoint, was incredibly versatile. It's a very
Absolutely.
versatile guitar sounding album.
Absolutely. So his impact is really big. I have to say, he's coming up with all this guitar stuff. I'm basically now responsible for doing all the harmony structures, for doing melodies, for putting it basically together to that it sounds like Rage in the end. Harmony structures, all this kind of stuff. Uh, this is has always been my specialty. Um, and all this specific guitar stuff, this really heavy shit that he's doing, fits so perfectly to the ideas that I have. And yeah, it's just great Rage out. But I think in these 5 years that he's in the band, he really uh, dug himself into the DNA of this band. He learned all the old stuff from the past, and I guess he really understood from the scratch how this band should sound like. And I think even now on this new album, we developed a kind of new aspect. It sounds like Rage, but it has very fresh and new a new vibe, maybe if I can say it like this.
Yeah, there was some songs I thought, and I want to talk about the vocals, but let's talk a little bit more about the sound. I thought
Mhm.
sound-wise, this album there was a lot of modern metal elements in it, even metalcore elements in it, as far as the guitar sound is concerned. And if you
Yes,
had told me beforehand that you were going to have that on a Rage album, I would be like, that's not going to work. But when I listened to the record sonically, you guys were able to have classic heavy metal, have power metal, have speed metal, and then have like modern metalcore, modern metal sounds in it. And
yes.
you did it in such a great way that everything kind of fits perfectly together.
Yeah, I mean, just what you described. We're really proud that it worked out this way. It could have gone wrong, but we're kind of lucky. I mean, it was our idea to create this kind of sound. We wanted to uh, settle up something on the sound from the last album. That we were already happy with the last one, but we thought like there's still some air that we could. Break some more ground, for sound wise, So we put a bit more effort also on bass guitar this time,
Mhm.
put it a bit more next to the guitars, but just the guitar sounds themselves. I remember that Gene was experimenting a lot with new amplifying, with new programs, with all kind of new stuff. He has uh, bought. 5 or 6 new guitars, with all kinds of different pickups. He's just experimenting a lot. And we involved Manu Cohen, the guy that mixed the album together with Gene. We involved him from the scratch already into the album to develop this kind of upgraded sounds, So this was a lot of experimentation involved, a lot of um, yeah, playing around with this kind of stuff, It's
I
basically,
felt
since we have our own studio, it's such a convenient situation. We can just go in there 24/7 and work on this kind of stuff, and it's like you gave a toy to some little kids,
Yeah, no, I think it's really important too because the band has been around for so long. I think
Mhm.
this is either the 25th or the 26th studio record. So in
More.
or yeah, so it's you stop counting after 10. You stop counting after 10. It's very easy for a band to continue to do what you guys have been doing because obviously it's been working. But I felt like on this record, you guys definitely took some chances sonically. They worked out amazingly. So does that now open the door for you guys to continue to experiment, to continue to go down these different paths?
Definitely, we are constantly working on new stuff. There's already like 4 or 5 new ideas for songs. We're The situation didn't change. We're still like bombing each other with ideas. And I guess this is also this experimenting. This will go on. Genius, and in the last couple of months, he was involved in a lot of other productions also where he made new experiences, and I guess he will burn to try this also on Rage stuff, on his own ideas. And yeah, we will definitely. I guess there's still more to come in this direction.
How is that change in sound when you're faced with these kind of riffs, when you're faced with this kind of sound, does that have an impact on you when it comes to the vocals?
Yes, surely. I mean, mostly it starts when the guy just bombs in with guitar riffs, and this inspires me directly for fantastic new ideas, some stuff that I haven't done so far, Uh, Later in the picture, involved in Lucky, our drummer. He also came with some really nice arrangement ideas. He came with some kind of tribal intros for some songs. Next Generation has this kind of Oriental whatever thing. So all kinds of inspirational things coming together. And like I already said, I can just repeat myself with like kids in the Sanchez just playing around.
When you look at your voice, is there a reason why your vocal performances have been so consistent over the years? Do you do something specifically to ensure that that instrument stays healthy and stays on par?
Not really, actually. I'm just doing it. I'm just singing
Just lucky.
constantly. It's like sport, when you just have to stay in shape. I'm just doing it, and especially what you hear now on the new album, a lot of songs are really first takes.
Oh.
Where as we have this opportunity to just record the ideas from the very first inspirational point. Sometimes I was really just sitting there finishing my lyrics, and then okay, now I have the stuff together. Let's just get on it. And we try to perform it already from the very first try to get a real productive version already. Because I had it so strong in my mind, like I knew exactly how I wanted it to sound. So we just took a bit more time. Not like when you do demos, you just do it. Okay, it's okay. We see the idea. We do it better later. Now this time we really try to record it already professionally, and get into it. Gene understands perfectly what I want. He's also a great singer. He's sometimes also doing some vocal tracks, some vocal appearances there. He's doing most of the backing stuff. Some of the growls are from him, and so we know it. We understand perfectly what we want, and we know how to achieve it now.
Is there a part of the process of making a new album that it's your least favorite? Either be maybe lyrics or something else?
No, all of this is really nice stuff that I love to do. I love this my whole life. This is the best things I can imagine to do, besides of preparing bones, which is still my hobby. But I mean, making music is a gift. It's the nicest thing, the best thing you can do in your life.
At
It's
this
really
point in time
good
in
for
your
the
career,
soul.
do you think about the live performances when you're making new music, or that doesn't even come across your mind?
Yeah, of course, you sometimes have the think about it, for some, if you want to do this kind of arrangement here or there, how can we put this on stage later as a three-piece band, but not always, sometimes it just demands to have this kind of extra lines or so, so we just do it, and give a flying fuck how we're gonna do this later,
Cross that bridge when you get there.
Yeah, yeah. All right, yeah. When you get there, when it really comes to the that you want to put it on stage, then we can still think about how we can do it. Then.
How difficult is becoming those live performances, considering how many records you guys have released, and everybody wants to hear their favorite song, and you
Uh,
try to please everybody?
it's not possible. Of course not. I mean, there's so many songs. I don't know how much it is. A couple of, I don't know, 500, 600 songs or so available, and of course you cannot please everybody. It's a long discussions always. We try to put some. Uh, bigger eye on whatever a new release when we're on tour for a new release, or when we have a special album that has anniversary. For example, this year the festival sets in this summer we focused on Black in Mind. It has its 30th anniversary this year, so we put more songs of this one in the live set. So this kind of stuff we try to do.
Do you have a favorite Rage song to perform live? Is that one that's like your top one, the one that you really enjoy the most?
It's plenty of. Um, and of course, this also changes from time to time, but there's plenty of songs that I like to perform. And yeah, but I couldn't really just put out one or so.
If you had to, if you got stuck on a desert island, what Rage album would you take with you?
Wow, what questions? I don't know. What album would I take with me?
Or would you take another album that's not a Rage record? Would that make it easier for you to answer?
Yeah, of course. Maybe I would do would take with me some Rush album or something like this, or a Beatles album, one of the classics that I grew up with.
Wow, look at you. You're not even thinking about taking one of your own. You just take something else. I have to ask you this question because obviously you've gained a lot of experience. You know the business. You've been around for a very long time. If you could go back in time and talk to yourself when Reign of Fear came out, what would you tell yourself at that point to help you better navigate through all of these years of the music industry?
Mm. probably be a bit more critical with the people around you. Don't be naive, because I've made some business mistakes over the years with being too trustable. I trusted too much people that were not worth it trusting. But this is, I think, something a lesson in life that you have to learn generally. Not only in music business.
Yeah, I think that applies to everybody.
It's exactly this is the normal lessons of life.
The album comes out September 26th on Steamhammer SPV. What plans do you have for touring and supporting this album? Are you going to take some time off, kickstart things in the new year? What's the road ahead?
We have a first tour leg starting at the 20th of September now of this month. We start on a metal cruise, a Wacken cruise, in the Eastern Sea here. Play a couple of shows, Germany, Eastern Europe. Have a short break. Then we have a orchestra show in between, a show with the Lingua Mortis Orchestra. Then we continue next year, starting with Japan at the Japan tour. We play a South European leg. We have a South American leg, and we are constantly working on more stuff. UK shows. We try to come back, of course, to Canada. So our agency is constantly working on more stuff to do, and the schedule fills more and more. We will announce as soon as possible if everything is on contract. We
Yeah,
will
it sounds
announce.
like you're barely going to have any time at home.
We also have time at home. I mean, I'm 60 now, and of course, I want to relax also a little bit. I need time to relax in between. Cannot do a world tour like it in the old days. Like you've been away from home for months or so. It's not so good anymore for me.
Is it becoming harder and harder to be on the road for very long periods of time?
Yeah, the traveling is a pain in the ass, and of course, this was easier when I was younger, but also the traveling is getting more difficult because of all the rules and regulations everywhere. So it's good to have some time off in between. We don't have to hurry.
Yeah, you definitely need to plan things in a different way. But the demand to be on the road is always a great thing. It means that you guys are doing things the right way. The music is popular as much now as it's ever been. So having a busy schedule does have some downsides, but it also has some upsides. People are
Yes.
listening to Rage.
And actually, the playing a live show is always a great thing. This kind of energy exchange. You heard the song "Fire in Your Eyes" on the new album. This is I'm kind of describing this situation, and how it feels to me. It's a kind of thank you to the fans and to the metal business, to the metal, not the business, the metal community in general.
So I guess it's safe to say that that song is going to be on the new set list.
Yeah, it can be. Also, it's going to be out as a video clip on the release day. And next week we will have also Innovation out as a video clip.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah,
you guys are super busy with this album, A New World Rising. By the way, I really like what you guys did with the artwork as well. Really
thank you.
cool artwork. Everything around this album screams modern. It has a very modern touch. But I think you guys did it in a very cool way. I honestly, man, the guitar sound on this album is absolutely excellent. I was in love with
Well,
the guitar sound.
I will tell it to the boys. They will be proud.
It was, I was blown
Actually,
away. I was blown away. And even
I'm
some
doing interviews.
breakdowns.
Fantastic. I'm doing interviews now since weeks, and a lot of people tell me this. I'm
Yeah,
really
because
glad for this.
it's such a modern sound that you just did. I didn't imagine that you guys would go down that road. And it works. And it has this great vibe. It has so much energy. Like it works really well. The guitar sound, the guitar execution, the guitar playing on this album, some of the best I've heard from you guys in a very long time. It really is outstanding.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I guess Gene will also be very proud to hear this.
Continue
So,
doing what you guys are doing because you're definitely on the right track.
yeah,
Peavy, thank you very much
definitely.
for your time today.
Thank you also very much, Pedro, and hope to see you again.
I go to Europe quite a bit, so if you don't come to Canada, I'm coming to Europe. I'll see you at a festival at some point in time, playing some of these new gems. so
Mhm.
I can appreciate that incredible guitar playing live for myself.
Cool. Great.
Thank you
So
very much
thank
for your time. All the best.
and thanks to all the listeners or viewers. Take care.
See you. Take care. All the best.
Goodbye.